Well, hello everyone. Greetings. And again, it is I, Dr. Whimsy, and the infamous Senorita Mila, my familiar, my friend, my bestest buddy, my domestic short hair, the feline extraordinaire, who you see currently looking for birds. Yes. Well, I'm glad you're all liking the hats, as am I. I don't want to wear a hat every day, though. I want it to be something special that only you and I share, say, I don't know what, once or twice a week? What do you think? So, let's have a conversation. I did my morning prayers. I did my chanting and my meditation, and I did a little bit of remote viewing. And one of the things that I've been asked a lot about, and I'm going to go ahead and do the empath prayer, and we'll go ahead and we're going to do some blitzes because we didn't get to everything during the show yesterday. So rest assured, we'll get through it today. Yes, I love you as well, my beloved cat. People are concerned about the economy, so I'm going to do most of the cards on the economy, but I did pop in briefly to the Ukraine war because people wanted feedback on it, and I knew as how I felt as somebody who was opposed to the war in Ukraine. I know how I felt, but I wanted to know what it was like to be Putin. And when I put myself in the shoes of Putin, I found my cabinet there was a light behind me, a light coming through behind me, and that my cabinet was behind me. And I thought it was just because of how I was sitting in the meditation, so I attempted as Putin to adjust myself so that I would be facing my cabinet directly. And in the vision, I could not face them directly. I felt like I was in a stand down with my own cabinet. And I realized as Putin that I had my back to my cabinet and that I was not in any kind of state where I would be listening to them. And so here we have a couple interesting things happening between the visions that I have as a professional remote viewer versus what we have in the press versus what we know publicly in terms of who's supporting Putin, who's not supporting Putin. We know that the head of the Church of Russia is now wanting to see peace. He's openly saying he wants peace. But this energy is different than that. This is an energy where it feels like it's almost like a Disney movie where the old lion is too weak to fight off the woolly animals, the ferocious contenders. And so people in the cabinet are becoming more emboldened with Putin. That's really how it feels. And I dealt with it by not acknowledging them. I had my back to them. All right, we're going to do the empath prayer. We're going to look at what's going on globally, and we're going to look at the United States. I know people are really worried. I just want to get as much information as I can because we didn't get to it on Sunday. Okay, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys. to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively, we say, Amen. If you like the prayer, Debbie Brady is developing merch for our channel, and I think she's going to be putting the prayer on some of our merch. It helps support the channel. Some of you had asked about it. All right, this is just a general throw on the economy, first in the United States, over the next 6 months under Joe Biden. New industry and new business begins to open up. I do know that President Biden pushed through a lot of new industry. What people have to understand about the new industry that's coming through under Joe Biden is that the entire world is going with the new green economy. So if America doesn't switch over to the new green economy, we won't be able to export our electronics, etc. Everybody's kind of moving towards greener and greener solutions. And so we want to be able to phase out old industry in ways that are not going to leave a lot of people homeless, out of a job, etc. Being able to convert old industries into new industries. And that's pretty much what we see going forward from 23 onward. I have to be really clear here about what I saw yesterday in the remotes, and what I would say here again is that the weather is not good. The winds are coming. Remember what we had talked about and what we've seen, semis being pulled around, 120-mile-an-hour winds. These things can be terrifying. But the good news is that human beings will always find a solution. We'll always find ways to save the planet. She's mad, Mother Earth is mad. How can we fix this? And so we have the sun coming out. Usually this is a card that denotes the time of summer, when the summer is high. I usually read it around in August time. Same with Eight of Wands. I was watching Linda G. I love her. Big fan. And the Eight of Wands came up, and somebody asked about a date, and August. So yeah, that's my August card too. Very cool. So I read Eight of Wands as the 8th month, and then also when the month is summertime generically is usually when the summer is high. And you can see the karma card is business. Queen of Pentacles, she is the queen, or the archetype where she holds the money, she's grounded. It's also earth-based, so it can be associated with the earth. Archangel Michael comes in our first house, and that is a card that is associated with truth. This is a really interesting card. As a character, it's sometimes been associated with spying, and I think the reason why this card, which is also associated with Archangel Michael, is associated with spying is because spies are always trying to get at the truth, right? They're always trying to find out what's really going on, right? So it's a truth card, and it also is associated with the swords, because we've talked about swords in the past. Swords are associated with the clouds. You'll often see clouds in swords. When the clouds are parted and you see, right? I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. So it's not unusual to see those clouds parting. And then you have the sword of truth that Archangel Michael holds. Eureka, giving you that moment of truth over the issue of the economy. But we have some times ahead where it's all about defending the land, protecting the land, eco-commerce. Here again is another card I associate with the environment. Take a good look at the Seven of Wands and the traditional meaning of the Seven of Wands. You can see the individuals being attacked from wands on all sides, and they stand on top of the mountain. There's a globe below them, the earth below them, and they are fending off the attack. And so this is why when I look to this card, I think about the earth protectors. It's also kind of cool that he stands above the stream of water just as if he's protecting it from the infidels that are coming and attacking. And so it's often the water protectors, the protectors of the earth will often come with this card. And so we have two interesting archetypes and two interesting cards coming to us over the economy of the United States, the first and second house, the sword of truth being crossed by conflicts or need to defend the land. And then what is above us, the energies that are coming through, is it is our karma, it is our time. And this is also a card where, depending upon the cards that are next to it, you can say we're being told to make haste. Now is the time to make haste. The karma is above us. In plainer words, we're at a time where the consequences of our actions have come back to us, and what we sit below in is a need for healing. So unfortunately, there are industries and people that run those industries that have created a lot of pain. You know, you have this need to heal at the heart of the nation, because this is I'm just looking at the U.S. economy right now, and looking at our former alliances. You know, it's interesting that China is going through so much in terms of their trade, because so much of Chinese trade was with the United States. I mean, I've been to China, and just to see Bank of America, you know, in the Forbidden City, getting fried chicken, Kentucky Fried Chicken in Beijing, right? So you have this global partnership importing and exporting from the United States. Karmic wheel could be changing, and the future is there's good stars ahead. So we have the karmic wheel above us, but in the past we have these old trade relationships, importing and exporting with the Two of Wands, and then we have that nice star moving in. So we have good stars with our future, even though our trade alliances are changing. There could be military aggression in the future by the United States in order to protect, defend, and stabilize certain areas, but more as a peacekeeping group. You can see the Knight of Wands, which would be fast movement. It can also be a card of aggression. It can be a card associated with fighting. The other in relationship with us goes well, the Empress, which could also indicate that globally things are going well as well. So the other, even the other that we may be having conflict with, seems to be doing okay financially. The hopes and the fears, you have a nice knowledge card. So that would indicate there's a concern here about the future of the nation, both also in terms of our education, our intellectual resources, intellectual properties, our, basically the intellectual properties of the United States. It looks like our economy will be much improved and will be transitioning towards new industries by August of 2023, just as I had said when I had gone into the remote final outcome in the time of August. Research. Let's do a clarification over that. Sanity is going to return to the United States, and with it, sanity over the economy. You can see that the Emperor card is in August, and that is a sanity card. It has to do with being rational, being reasonable. And so it could indicate that theft, corruption, etc. is part of what bankrupted the United States or put the United States in this situation. And so we have a theft issue we're dealing with. Thieves attempting to escape possibly, or something about movement, war, theft. But by August, sanity returns. To reiterate, what the cards are saying is that the economy and the country will be stable by August, and also the whole, but also probably Europe as well. If you're asking about what's going on in Europe, there's just a feeling of sanity returning to the world, and there is going to be a change up of how we trade, our trade partners, etc. we can see some change happening with that, but the new economy and the transition to new trade partners seems to be stable by August of 2023. Okay, this next throw had to do with people that asked me again if I would throw on the housing market. Absolutely. The U.S. housing market and homelessness. I want to look at homelessness. I'm really worried about it. I mean, I was thinking to myself about homelessness. You know, why should we all be concerned, right? Because Germany and the United States, Germany has the highest rates of homelessness of any country in Europe, and yet it has this booming industry. It's considered the strongest economy in the EU, and yet it has the highest homelessness in Europe. And then I think we're number 2, the United States. So I was thinking about why I love YouTube, because I was thinking, you know, this is my plan B. This is my plan B. You know, it really could happen to anybody. And so we do hope, we're all wondering what the country is going to do to protect against homelessness. Looks like Joe Biden's doing something. And we have celebration over the issue of the housing market with the King of Swords. Yes. Ooh, 10 of Cups is moving in over the housing market, which would be happy, family, joy, etc. I do know that one of the reasons the population is down in the United States is because people are delaying marriage, buying property, etc. because of student loans, and student loan debt is actually having an impact on how many children millennials have, because they can't settle down and buy a house because they're too busy paying off their student loans. No house, no ability to save money, you're certainly not going to be able to afford a family. But what's interesting is that the 10 of Cups comes in the first house. And then the crossing card is Fool takes the leap of faith. So there's this feeling like, it kind of reminds me of something that I hear from Joe Biden a lot, which is that people should not bet against the United States. You have this nice 6 of Cups moving in also, which would indicate offers or assistance for housing, right? This was something I wanted to see from the United States. Also, it seems to me like America and the American government, FEMA, etc., I do know they're working on 3D printing, etc., but this appears to be some technique where they're going to be able to help people find homes and create homes for people very, very quickly. I also know that there are engineering companies that are going into existing buildings in urban areas and trying to convert them into lofts, condos, etc., and I think that that will be very successful as well, so that people can own their own condo. Because people are not going to work anymore. They're working from home. So you have all these beautiful buildings downtown that can be, in many cases, converted with engineering, etc. So you have this energy of the housing situation changing very rapidly, and you have this assistance happening. And again, major changes happening by August. There is a feeling that the president is, for something happens, I don't know if something's going to happen to the Congress or what, but something happens to Biden wherein he is able to start really getting a lot done by August of 2023. This is Biden, because you can see here is Biden's card. This is the Biden card, and then the final outcome here again here, which is what I thought was going to happen, which is the 6 of Pentacles, which is to offer, again, government assistance, or it's to help those who cannot help themselves, and it has an aspect to it of justice with the 6 of Pentacles. So that's why I'm calling it a government assistance, because of the nature of the question. And then also 6 of Cups is like true love, to come back again. When I think about coming back again, I think about us returning back to those institutions that worked for the country under Carter that were phased out, like mental health programs, housing for the mentally ill, that were phased out under Reagan, all of those things led to a rise in homelessness because there wasn't a safety net for people that were falling through the cracks. And people that, because of chronic mental illness, were never going to get well. They were never going to be normal, right? And so there became no safety net for them. So the fact that you have a Six of Cups and a Six of Pentacles moving in has me in future placements, 4th and 10th house, leads me to think that I'm very optimistic about America addressing the problems of homelessness. And I would also say in closing with a Knight of Wands, which would indicate, it's a war, homelessness. We're fighting against this problem. A Knight of Wands is exactly the kind of energy you want, because Knight of Wands is a knight that is quick, it's fast, it's aggressive, which leads me to think that this administration will be very proactive about ending homelessness in America. All right, thank you everyone. Love and light. If you're trying to get in with me for a reading, you can go to the information below this video. I'm available for phone readings. I'm also available for pre-taped Wizio readings if you need one of those as well. Information is below. Be well, everyone. Stay strong. Bye-bye.